The collision alarm had a talent for screaming only when I was elbow-deep in coolant. It wailed like a dramatic opera singer denied applause, and I banged my head on the underside of a maintenance drone. "Of course," I muttered, wiping fluorescent fluid off my sleeve. "Nothing good ever arrives quietly." The outer ring cameras flickered to life. Something sleek and silver spun against the dim red glare of the local star, its hull torn open as if space itself had taken a bite. It didn't drift like debris. It shuddered, corrected, tried again. Whoever was piloting it was stubborn. "Docking permission denied," my station AI announced in its permanently irritated tone. "Probability of catastrophic failure, 87%. "Optimist," I said. "Open the emergency clamps." The ship slammed into the magnetic ring with enough force to rattle my teeth. The whole station groaned like it wanted early retirement. For a moment there was only silence and the faint hum of failing systems. Then the hatch on the alien vessel unfolded, not sliding or swinging, but blooming open like metal remembering it used to be alive. She stepped out carefully. At first glance she looked human. Same height, same posture, same cautious way of scanning unfamiliar territory. But her ears were long, elegant, curving back in smooth arcs, almost luminous at the edges. They moved slightly, adjusting as if tasting the air. I raised both hands. "Welcome to the worst repair dock in this quadrant. We have competitive pricing and complimentary oxygen." Her eyes fixed on me, calculating, measuring. "You are human," she said quietly. "Last I checked, it's been a slow week, though." Her gaze shifted to the shattered hull behind her. "My vessel is damaged. Your station emitted a mechanical assistance signal." "That was a distress beacon from 2137, I replied. "I keep meaning to turn it off. It's very persuasive." She stepped closer. Those long ears tilted forward, and for a second I had the absurd thought they were antennas locking onto my sarcasm frequency. "You will repair it," she said, not a question. I looked past her at the ship's core, visible through a fracture in the hull. It pulsed with a light that didn't behave like light. It folded inward, then expanded, like a star breathing in its sleep. "That depends," I said carefully. "Does it run on standard fusion, antimatter, or emotional trauma?" Her expression didn't change, but one ear twitched. "It runs on harmonic convergence." "Ah, of course it does." I left my harmonic convergence wrench in my other pants. For a heartbeat I thought I misjudged the joke. Then the faintest curve touched her mouth. Relief loosened my shoulders. "Look, I can't promise miracles. This station barely survives my cooking experiments, but I'm good with broken things." She studied me in silence long enough to make me reconsider every life choice that had led to this orbit. "My people do not trust humans," she said. "Understandable. We don't always trust ourselves." Her eyes flicked toward the blinking panels behind me. Sparks snapped from a console, and a repair drone trundled past dragging a cable like a stubborn pet. "And yet," she continued, "you opened your docking clamps. I charge extra for dramatic rescues." Another small twitch of her ear. I was starting to think that was laughter in her species. If so, I was doing surprisingly well. A tremor ran through her ship. The pulsing core dimmed, then flared weakly. "It is dying," she said. I exhaled slowly. The humor drained just enough to let the weight settle. Whatever that vessel was, it mattered to her. "Okay," I said. "Let's see what your harmonic whatever is made of." She stepped aside, granting me access. As I crossed the threshold into alien metal and unfamiliar physics, I felt the station's artificial gravity shift nervously. Behind me she spoke again, softer. "If you fail, the rupture will consume this dock." I paused. No pressure. Her long ears angled toward me. I grinned. Good thing I work best under unreasonable cosmic threats. The inside of her ship did not appreciate me. The moment I stepped fully across the threshold, my toolkit vibrated like it had opinions. The air hummed at a pitch just shy of audible, and the floor shifted half a centimeter to the left as if reconsidering its life choices. "Your vessel is judging me," I said. It is assessing you, she replied. That's worse. The fractured core pulsed ahead of us, suspended in an open chamber without visible supports. Light folded inward, then spilled outward in slow, tidal waves. My wrist scanner blinked once and politely shut itself off. Rude, I muttered, tapping it. We rehearsed this. It will not respond to primitive instrumentation, she said. I looked at her. Primitive. She tilted her long ears slightly back. Comparatively. Right, of course, my mistake. I'll just use my advanced caveman intuition. I approached the core carefully. The fracture along its containment lattice shimmered, threads of energy snapping and reconnecting in uneven rhythm. It's not just cracked, I said slowly. It's out of sync. Her eyes sharpened. Explain. Whatever this harmonic convergence thing is, it's misaligned. Like an orchestra where half the instruments are playing a different song. Loudly. She considered that. The impact disrupted the phase coherence. Phase coherence, I echoed. I was going to say that. I pulled out a manual spanner and immediately regretted it when the tool turned translucent. Oh good, I said. It's either reacting to exotic radiation or I'm finally losing my grip on reality. It is adjusting the molecular vibration to prevent contamination, she said calmly. Next time it can just send a memo. The core flickered again, dimmer now. A ripple passed through the chamber, and somewhere behind us a panel sealed itself with a hiss. Your warning about rupture, I said, still on the table? Yes. Fantastic. I circled the chamber, watching how the pulses traveled. They weren't random. They staggered, hesitated near the fracture, then stumbled forward. You said it runs on harmonic convergence, I said. Does that mean it needs a reference frequency? She nodded. It synchronizes with its pilot. I stopped walking. With you? Yes. And you're injured. Her silence confirmed it. So the ship's trying to match a signal that's unstable, I said. That's why it's drifting. It's confused. Her long ears angled toward the core. It is not confused. It is loyal. Same difference when loyalty meets bad data. I set my toolkit down and opened the station's portable field generator. It buzzed uncertainly, like it knew it was out of its league. I can't replicate your biology, I said. But I can create a temporary stabilizing rhythm, something neutral. Give the core a metronome so it stops panicking. You believe you can impose human engineering upon this system. I prefer the term politely suggest. I calibrated the generator to emit a steady oscillation, low and consistent. The first wave passed through the chamber and made my teeth ache. The second wave slipped into the lattice. The core stuttered. Okay, I whispered. Either that worked or we're about to become educational particles. Her gaze never left the light. One of her ears twitched forward, then slowly relaxed. The pulses began to even out. Not perfect, not stable, but no longer chaotic. It is responding, she said. See. I grinned. Primitive instrumentation. A faint curve touched her mouth again. The core brightened slightly, its rhythm aligning with the artificial beat I'd introduced. This is temporary, she said. Story of my life. The chamber vibrated once more, but this time it felt less like a death rattle and more like a deep breath. She looked at me differently now. Not measuring, not calculating. You risked your station, she said quietly. I risk my station every time I reheat leftovers. Her long ears tilted in what I was beginning to recognize as open amusement. The core's light steadied, fragile but alive. For now, I said, wiping my hands on my sleeve, your ship and my dock are both still in one piece. For now, she echoed. And somewhere beneath the hum of alien physics and improvised human stubbornness, something between us shifted into alignment. The stabilizing field held for exactly 9 minutes before the universe decided I was getting comfortable. A sharp tremor ran through the chamber. My portable generator spat a shower of sparks and displayed a very unhelpful symbol that looked suspiciously like laughter. You see, I said, mockery. It is compensating, she replied, though her long ears angled sharply toward the outer hull. For what? She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she closed her eyes. The core's pulse shifted again, not erratic this time, but strained. Then my station AI's voice burst through my comm. Multiple unidentified signatures detected. Vector convergence toward your coordinates. I sighed. We're popular. Her eyes opened. They have found me. Friends of yours? No, of course not. That would be too convenient. The core flickered, reacting to something beyond the ship. I pulled up the external feed on my wrist display. 3 vessels dropped out of faster-than-light transit at the edge of the system, their silhouettes angular and predatory. They're locking onto your energy signature, I said. Whatever harmonic convergence is, it's basically a neon sign. They are scavengers, she said. They harvest advanced systems. Wonderful, I just fixed this. Her ears tilted forward, catching something I couldn't hear. They are triangulating. I glanced at the portable generator. Then we need to make your ship less interesting. It cannot be hidden while active. Then we give them something louder. She studied me. Explain. I've got an old mining array bolted to the far side of the dock. It's obsolete, temperamental, and occasionally explodes for attention. If I reroute power through it and amplify the emission frequency, it'll look like a bigger prize. That risks overloading your station. Everything risks overloading my station. The dock shuddered faintly as the distant ships adjusted formation. Her voice softened. You are not obligated to do this. I know, I grinned. I'm doing it anyway. I have a reputation for terrible decisions. One of her ears flicked upward. You joke in the presence of danger. It confuses danger. I sprinted back through the corridor toward the docking ring, she moving beside me with unsettling grace. The AI was already complaining. Rerouting that magnitude of power will void several warranties, it said. Good thing I don't have any. I tapped commands into the main console, overriding safeties that had survived since the station's construction. The mining array hummed to life, building charge like a stubborn storm. Behind us, her ship pulsed unevenly. They are accelerating, she said. Let them, I replied. We're about to become the brightest disaster in this system. The array discharged. A beam of amplified energy lanced outward, broadcasting a chaotic signature across space. My console flashed red. Energy output exceeds recommended parameters, the AI scolded. Recommended by who? Cowards? On the external feed, the 3 hostile vessels shifted course. 2 veered toward the mining array's signal. 1 hesitated, still angled toward her ship. She stepped closer to me, placing her hand on the console. The core's rhythm subtly adjusted, blending with the station's systems. I can distort the residual trace, she said, but I must synchronize through your grid. That sounds invasive. It is. I swallowed. Fine. But if my coffee machine starts speaking your language, we're having a conversation. Her long ears glowed faintly at the edges as she focused. The station lights dimmed, then stabilized. The signature from her ship fragmented, scattering like broken reflections. The remaining hostile vessel paused, confused. See, I said, confused danger. Her mouth curved slightly. Your strategy is chaotic. Thank you. The 2 ships chasing the mining array's emission moved farther from us. The 3rd lingered, scanning. Not convinced, I muttered. Her gaze hardened. Then we must prepare. For what? For the possibility that it chooses correctly. I leaned back against the console, forcing a smile. Good thing I just started enjoying the excitement. Outside, the lone vessel began to advance again, and this time it was coming straight for us. The hostile vessel did not hesitate again. It advanced in a straight, confident line, like it had finally decided which buffet table looked expensive. Well, I said, watching the feed, at least it's decisive. It has isolated the true harmonic source, she replied. Show off. The station vibrated as the incoming ship powered its forward cannons. My console lit up with warnings that sounded personally offended. Impact in 32 seconds, the AI announced. May I suggest panic? Denied, I said. We'll panic later. Schedule it. She stepped closer to the central interface, her long ears angled forward, alert and intent. The faint glow at their edges returned as the core of her vessel responded across the docking clamps. "They will attempt to disable your systems," she said. "They're welcome to try. Most of my systems are already emotionally disabled." The first blast struck the outer ring. The entire dock lurched. A maintenance drone slammed into a wall and rolled past us like it had reconsidered its career path. "Shields," I demanded. "Nominally active," the AI replied. "Effectiveness questionable. Define questionable. Optimistic." Another blast hit. A section of external plating peeled away on the feed. She closed her eyes briefly. "If we combine your defensive grid with my ship's phase lattice, we can refract their energy." Refract as in bounce back, as in redirect. Good enough. I pulled up the station's shield controls. They were old, patched, and held together by code I'd written at 3 in the morning. I rerouted power from life support in storage bay 3. "Sorry, crates," I muttered. Her hands hovered over the console, not touching, yet the lights responded to her presence. The harmonic pulse from her ship shifted frequency, sliding into the station's shield bandwidth. "You're basically tuning my dock like an instrument," I said. "Yes, I always suspected it was off-key." The hostile vessel fired again. This time the shield flared bright, too bright. My console shrieked. "Energy spike exceeding," the AI began. The flare bent. The incoming blast curved along the shield's surface and shot outward at an angle, slicing past the attacker's hull. Not a direct hit, but close enough to make a point. I blinked. That was impressive. Her ears tilted slightly back. "Again. Demanding, aren't we?" The enemy ship adjusted position, firing in rapid succession. Each blast struck our harmonized shield and twisted away, scattering into space like deflected lightning. One stray reflection clipped the attacker's flank. A plume of debris trailed behind it. "They are recalibrating," she said. "Let them," I replied. "We're in a groove." The dock trembled under the strain. My power reserves dropped faster than my patience. "At this rate," the AI warned, "structural fatigue will become catastrophic." "Define catastrophic." "Explosive." "Right." I glanced at her. "Can your core push harder?" "It can. But the synchronization will require direct interface." "With what?" "With you." I stared at her. "You want to plug alien star magic into my nervous system. It is the most efficient conduit available." "Of course it is." Another blast hit. The shield flickered. "Fine," I said. "But if I start speaking in harmonic convergence, you're explaining it to my AI." She stepped closer, placing her hand against the side of my neck. A sharp pulse of warmth shot through me, not painful, just overwhelming. The hum of her ship surged inside my skull, aligning with my heartbeat. The station's shield brightened, steadier now. The next enemy blast struck and snapped back with precision, slamming directly into the hostile vessel's main weapon array. On the feed, the attacker's cannons went dark. I let out a shaky breath. That felt illegal. It was necessary. The hostile ship hesitated, drifting. "Are they retreating?" I asked. The vessel pivoted, engines flaring. Slowly it withdrew, vanishing into faster-than-light transit. Silence settled over the dock, broken only by the low, unified hum of her core and my overworked generators. She removed her hand. The warmth faded, leaving my pulse racing. "You are compatible," she said quietly. "With what?" "With survival." I laughed, leaning against the console. "I'll add that to my resume." Outside, debris drifted where the attacker had been. Inside, our systems remained intact. Barely, but intact. The silence after the hostile ship vanished felt louder than the battle. My station systems flickered back to their usual state of mild complaint. The mining array powered down with a sulk. Somewhere in storage bay 3, life support coughed back to life and probably held a grudge. "Well," I said, staring at the external feed, "that was exciting. I usually only get this kind of attention when I forget to pay my docking fees." Her vessel's core pulsed steadily now, no longer strained. The rhythm was strong, confident, almost relieved. It is stable, she said. Good. I'd hate for the universe to implode after I just cleaned up. She stepped closer to the viewport, her long ears angled slightly forward, catching radiation patterns I couldn't even imagine. The faint glow at their edges had softened. They will not return soon, she said. Your deflection injured their primary array. Accidentally heroic, my favorite kind. She turned to me, studying my face the way she had when we first met. But this time there was no calculation in her gaze. You altered your station's core grid, she said. You risked structural collapse. I risk that every time I update the firmware. That is not the same. I shrugged. Maybe not. But I was tired of just surviving out here, fixing scraps, talking to an AI that judges my life choices. I do not judge, the AI interjected. See. Her mouth curved, unmistakably amused now. I misjudged humans, she said. That makes two of us. I misjudged aliens. I thought you'd be taller or greener. Her ears flicked back. You expected pigmentation variants. I expected something dramatic, tentacles, extra elbows. I have neither, tragic. The humor faded gently, leaving something steadier behind. I was mapping dying stars, she said. My mission is to preserve their harmonic signatures before collapse. It is a lonely task. You fly into systems alone, record the last breath of a sun, and move on. Yes. Yeah, I said quietly. That sounds lonely. She regarded the repaired docking clamps that held her ship in place. I could depart now. The lattice is functional, the convergence stable. But, I asked, her long ears angled toward me, subtle but deliberate. But you synchronized with my core, she said. You adapted without fear. You did not exploit vulnerability. I did make several terrible jokes. They were inefficient, she agreed. Hey. She stepped closer, close enough that I could feel the faint harmonic hum radiating from her. My people believe trust is a resonance, she said. It cannot be forced. It must be discovered. I looked around at my patched consoles, my stubborn station, the debris still drifting beyond the viewport. I've been orbiting the same star for years, I said, fixing broken machines. Telling myself that was enough. And now, she asked, now I know I can fix more than machines. The words surprised me as much as they seemed to register with her. Her voice softened. Come, human, not an order, not a demand. An invitation. To map stars, I asked. To witness their endings, she said, and their rebirths. I glanced at my station one last time. The AI flickered its display. Abandonment protocols are emotionally complex, it said. I'm not abandoning you, I replied. I'm upgrading my commute. You will return, it asked. Probably. I left tools everywhere. She extended her hand. I hesitated only long enough to appreciate the absurdity of it. A solitary engineer from a failing dock, an alien traveler who listened to stars. Do I need to pack anything? I asked. Adaptability, she said. I've got that. I took her hand. The docking clamps released with a resonant thrum. Her ship's core brightened, harmonics weaving with my steady pulse instead of overwhelming it. As the vessel lifted free from the station, I felt no fear, only alignment. Next time, I said, watching the familiar structure drift away, we're installing better shields. She glanced at me, ears tilted in unmistakable amusement. Agreed. The ship turned toward open space. The stars ahead shimmered with frequencies I was only beginning to understand. For the first time in years, I wasn't waiting for something to break. I was ready to explore.